It started out with with our own vineyard, and then after that, they were looking for a Hispanic person to help out up above our home, which is up on the Horse Heaven Hills. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I don't wear out very easily, because when you like to do something, you don't get tired very easily. You just go until it's too dark to do anything, and go eat dinner, go to bed, and wake up the next day early in the morning and do it again.
Esta canción es muy famosa de los mariachis.
We started, farming, and we really depended on the Hispanic people.
Most people in America, when you think of farming, they think of like big, huge combines, and that's not hops.
If it wasn't for everybody that pitched in, this never would have happened.
We're talking about dream, we're talking about hope, and we're talking about inspiring kids to do their best. And this is the United States of America. You could be anything you want to be if you work hard.
All right, let's do our warm-up.
Hi, I'm Ramon Rivera, and I've been a teacher in Washington State, teaching mariachi for about 15 years. We have 3 mariachi classes at the Mount Vernon High School, 1 folklorico dance program, and then we have mariachi and folklorico at Mount Baker Middle School and La Venture Middle School. So I'm really excited that Mount Vernon is having this kind of program. We have the biggest program in the West Side.
My dad was from Michoacan, Mexico. He came here when he was about 5 or 6 to California, and did migrant work his whole early life. I think that's where a lot of the hard work ethic have all brought to light what we see now in our winery. The whole family helps out. We've taken part in every aspect of the winemaking, the grape growing, everything from the ground up.
Yeah, so we got different kinds of squash we're putting up orders for, and this is organic stuff here. This is a 3rd generation family farming operation. My grandfather, Shukichi Inaba, came to this country in the early 1900s with his brother Tomoji. And my grandfather was actually trained, he had an agricultural degree from the Imperial Agricultural College. And that's why he was one of the guys recruited to help the immigrants learn how to farm. At the time that they came, they could not own land, they could not own property, but they could lease land at the time. And so that's why they came to the reservation. And they were very successful, they worked really hard. And my grandfather, broke 120 acres out of sagebrush with his brother Tomoji. And so anyhow, they started farming again, and this piece of ground we're standing on right now is the first piece of ground my dad actually bought. Yeah, this is where we pack different things. We do conventional peppers and cucumbers out here, and zucchini squashes. Then we have a separate line for organic cucumbers and stuff like that. Here these guys are doing they're doing a mixed squash. Food just doesn't come from the grocery store. It comes from somewhere, and somebody has to produce it, and it takes labor to make it happen. I mean, if I'm going to tell a story, that's what I'm going to say, and appreciate the farmers that are doing it, and appreciate the farm workers, because we couldn't do what we're doing without the workers. And and so we're proud of that, and I think they're proud to be here as well.
Without the farm worker, we would not have fruits, we would not have vegetables, we would not have food on the table. But it also teaches the students that I have worked with what hard work is all about. And every March 31st, we celebrate Cesar Chavez Day because he believed that the farm workers deserve the same treatment as a regular worker. So they formed the United Farm Workers, and I use this every day in my classroom to tell the kids, think different. And what's great is that this is a farm worker. You know, I have a farm worker on the wall every day when I study, when the kids come into the classroom, I show them, you know, this is Cesar Chavez and what he's done. So I think the more that we have our role models and the way that we think different when it comes to school, we could have a better society. I think that's my job, is to give the kids hope. Like Cesar did, he gave the workers hope.
Well, my background, I have a background in economics, and I looked at sort of the role of air cargo, you know, being that economic generator and being that facilitator of business in Washington State. SeaTac International Airport is a passenger hub airport, any way you look at it. But in almost all of those passenger flights, there is air cargo that flies along. There's what they call belly cargo. Cargo in the belly of the passenger plane along with your suitcases. But at the end of the day, there's not enough capacity in all of those passenger planes flying around to meet the region's needs in terms of moving cargo by air. So then you bring in the dedicated freighters. Well, we have now 6 freighters a day calling at the airport that are purely engaged in moving e-commerce. So the air cargo industry is very adaptable. There's many different sort of components of it. But at the end of the day, it is about providing access to global markets.
I'm no better than nobody else, and anybody can do what I do. Anybody can start from where I start. I mean, I started this place with a broom. I came here broke. I came here with no money. And when I say no money in my pocket. I came in this country on the trunk of a car. Everybody told me how great it was. It was great, but it's hard work. If you think in Mexico is hard work, no, this is hard work. People ask me, how did this happen? Well, for one thing, I work days, many days, day and night, work hard like it was my own, because stuff don't happen on a dream. It has to be action. Ever since I was 17 years old, I started working at this farm, helped the guy for 32 years, and learned to grow different varieties of hops. And I had to learn also the language. The language was the biggest thing. I never went to school. I practically finished growing up here, so I met my wife here, and then the kids came along after that. They're really looking forward to take over, and they will when the time comes. I'm 60 right now, and I'm still here. And so we gotta just keep going, and all I can say is, I don't know if there's anybody lucky than I am. I'm just very lucky.
Getting to actually drink from a beer takes a lot of work. In November of 2016, I went to a craft brewers conference. Throughout the time of us being at this conference, we talked about beer. And within that conversation, we talked about the irony of beer in Mexico. And the irony was that you had Mexican migrant farm workers having to travel all the way up to the Pacific Northwest just to pick the hops that were essentially going to go ship back all the way back to Mexico. And in May of 2017, myself, along with Kevin Quinn and Kevin Smith from Bale to come and join us on a project.
The Sesiones del Migrante then kind of, we knew we were going to go to Mexico and brew, and then we decided we'd also brew in California, and then we'd also brew here in Washington, and that kind of highlights how a lot of the Mexican workers come up, and they may work in California, and they may work in Oregon, they may work in Washington, but like we were kind of highlighting that same trek. Even in Yakima, a lot of people don't understand or have the awareness of how important like farm workers are and the migrant workers that come in. Obviously the farm owners are very important, but it's built like on the shoulders of all the farm workers that are out there doing it. I mean, in our farm we have over 300 farm workers that help us grow and harvest the 2,200 acres of hops that we have, so it's a significant number.
The purpose of this is celebrating our migrant farm workers and also bringing awareness to the fact that without them, there is essentially no beer, especially in the Pacific Northwest where 75% of the hops are coming out of. Just shedding just a little bit of that awareness is, and getting that out to also the beer consumer is what we're just trying to do.